All right, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I want to talk about what it really takes to become a natural bodybuilder. I know a lot of people see the tan, they see the show day, and they see the medals and everything that goes along with it. What they don't see is everything that goes into it, all the sacrifices that need to be made, everything you've been through to get to that point behind the scenes. So what I want to do is talk about some of that today and really give you guys the inside look at what it really takes. All right, I first want to talk about the reality versus the image, right? Like doing this bodybuilding thing is not just a hobby. It's a year-round, at a minimum 20-week commitment that's going to test you, right? It's going to test your relationships. It's going to test your willpower. It's going to test your mental toughness, right? All these things. It's gonna be a test. It's not as fun as it looks, right? Unless you have to have a real passion for it. I see a lot of people that I know, they went right behind me. They saw my end results, and they took that and try to make it their whole personality. When they didn't even have a passion for it. Some people think they can do things just because they see you do it. That's a whole podcast right there. But I've seen people try to do the bodybuilding thing because they've seen me do it. But yeah, based off of an image. But the reality, maybe they're not mentally tough enough. Maybe they're not just as disciplined as they thought they were. Yeah, just those things. It's not a hobby. It's kind of a lifestyle. I hate to use that cliche term, but that's what it is. All right, and then I'll go into number 2. I'll talk about the mental battle that it is. Like, a lot of people think it's just a physical battle, getting your body into the right shape, but no, it's more mental than physical. It's a psychological game that we're playing, and you gotta learn to operate without that motivation. The motivation is not going to carry you through to the end. It'll get you to a certain point, and then you're gonna have to be just mentally tough enough and disciplined enough to actually execute through the process and get to the end result. And a lot of people ain't ready for that. As soon as it gets hard, as soon as that fatigue starts to set in, like 2, 3, 4, 5 days of just the most fatigue you've ever felt, on top of working. See me, all my shows I've ever done, I hadn't took no leave for. I just leave on a Friday, and go do a show and be back to work on Monday. So I haven't had the luxury of showing up a week early, in natural bodybuilding. Like, everything matters. That little sleep, any deprivation that you experience, whether it be sleep, food, all these little things are they test your discipline and your mental fortitude. So a lot of people aren't ready for that. They think that they're just motivated, and that's going to carry them through, and it never does. Next, I want to talk about the time and consistency that it requires. Especially for natural bodybuilding, it takes a long time to put on enough mass to be able to shred down and still look good and still have density, right? So in my case, I've been lifting weights since I was probably 12 or 13 years old. I'm 34 years old. I've never stopped lifting weights. I've been lifting weights. I wasn't always on diet or on plan or anything like that, but I've built my body over time. I just figured out how to bodybuild in the last couple of years. With that being said, a lot of people try to come into this 16, 17, 18, no mass. They haven't built the muscle that's required to look dense on stage, right? And that takes me to another point. I don't really want to get into it, but you get like a 15, or not a 15, you get like a 17, 18, 19, 20. I'll say from 17 and probably 22, 23 guy. Never lifted weights, been lifting weights a year, and he thinks that he's ready to go do a show, that he's gonna go win a show. It's not gonna happen, right? A lot of people, they don't understand. Like, you can't, there's not that many special people in the world where you come up to me and say, hey, yeah, I've only been lifting for 2 years, but I'm just abnormal and I'm jacked and I'm bigger than a dude that's been lifting for 15 years. Like, I don't even believe it. I know no one really believes it. Like, it's a lot of fake natural people running around, but yeah, the moral of the story is I'm trying to talk about the consistency that's required to put on enough muscle to look good on stage after you shed all of the body fat that you want to shed. So it's a misconception that you're 200 pounds and you're gonna go get down to 180 and look like a monster. No, in actuality, you're probably 200 pounds. You're probably gonna have to get down to like 165 or so. Giving you my exact cut, I was up at 189, and in my first show I got it to the 160s, and I thought it looked great, but didn't do so well. But when I got under 160, that's when, you know, I had a competitive body. If you can see in the background there, I did all of those shows at under 160 pounds. That's NPC Nationals, the Ben Weeder, Lee Haney Games, and then what is that? USA's. All those are untested shows that I've done at 150 pounds. You know, and it's not you just don't walk into it, right? That's years of lifting weights. I just learned how to cut. And once I did that cut from 189 all the way down to 150 something, yeah, I had muscle underneath because I've been lifting for so many years. So you don't think you're just gonna pop over here and start lifting or do a cut and go win a show. It's rare. So that's a reality. Another one is the financial reality. When I went and did those shows, in the first episode I talked about doing shows. I did 4 or 5 shows in a row, and it cost me over $10,000 to go and do those shows. I did one in Washington, DC. I did Nationals in Texas. South Carolina, I did USA's. Then I did the Lee Haney close to Atlanta. So you can see I'm in the military, not making a whole bunch, but there is some money tied to it. I would say $1,200 to $1,500 in a show. You got to think about hotels, tanning, your just everything, fees, show fees, registration fees, polygraphs, especially if you're doing the natural stuff. So it all adds up. So what I'll do is I'm gonna do another episode where I'll break all of that down and I'll show it to you. Like I'll take one of these shows that I've done and break it all the way down and show you the actual cost. So with that being said, I don't want to go too deep on the financial piece, but it costs more than you think it costs, right? Tanning, shorts, all that. So I'll do another video on that. But then I want to get into the social aspect of it. You're going to separate yourself from the people, from the people you love, the people you know, your friends, family, because you're locked in on a goal. And it takes that separation. It doesn't have to be depressing or anything like that, but it's just a part of the game to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. For myself, I work I work all day. I go and do PT, physical training at 6:30 in the morning. I get off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have obligation with my family, obligation with my kids. I train, I do cardio. Sometimes I don't get into bed till 11 or 12 at night. And then I got to get up and go do PT again, right? So just imagine you got an hour of cardio or 40 minutes of cardio. You have your training, prepping food. It's a lot, right? And then you have other obligations. I take my kids to sporting events, to their own sporting events. It's just a lot that goes with it. So, yeah, that social trade-off is something that you got to be willing to do. Like I'm at work, I'm in meetings, I can't even. I'm so depleted of I would say nutrients, but when you get into those stages where you're not consuming a lot of calories, it can mess with your behavior, I guess. You know, kind of sluggish, not thinking completely on point. So some of that stuff you'll be affected by, and you got to think about those social trade-offs that you're doing in order to compete. Yeah, it takes a lot. So these are some of the things that you're going to trade off in order to get on that stage, right? So it looks sweet from the outside, but when you're not getting sleep, you might have hormone imbalances, stress. A lot goes into it to get that reward. A lot goes into it that a lot of people don't see. They see that front picture. They see that picture that you post online that it took you 10 years plus a prep, plus a 20-week prep in order to look this certain way, and people see it for a day. Can you imagine? You do all that work. I've been fortunate to place pretty well in these shows. Like, I'm most proud of, winning my class at an international show like the Ben Weeder. Winning my OCB Pro card, that's the actual trophy down here on the counter. And then the top 5 at nationals is that's a gold bar for a lot of people that'll never go and get top 5 at a nationals. I've been fortunate, but I still experience that build up. Like you grind hard, you expect to do great, you go and do great things, but literally you get on that stage for a couple minutes, not even a couple minutes, you get on that stage for 10 seconds, and my man Bob, he gonna tell you get up out of there. He gonna call the next number and get you out of there. So you're doing all that for like 10 seconds. Boom. Some people will never place top 5. Right? So it's a whole thing that you go through. So just wanted you to be aware of these things. It's not as sweet as you think it is. It takes some sacrifice. It takes some grind, but the reward is it's well worth it. But I just wanted to bring you guys some of the other some of my perspective, right? Just my perspective on it. It's not as sweet as it looks, but it is worth it, right? But you can also go through those situations and not get the results you're looking for. Like I got a client, he must have thought he was about to go break the world, do a world record. I took him down like 50 pounds, right? 50 pounds. And got abs, got obliques. Took him from nothing, man. He looked great. Got on stage. He didn't come back with the trophy, right? He didn't come back with the trophy, so he quit talking to him. I ain't heard from him since, man. But it's not about that reward. It's not always about the trophy. Look at what you accomplished. You showed yourself that you could do something. If you really love it, you're not gonna quit. You're not gonna quit. You're a competitor. You're gonna keep going. But everything ain't sweet in this thing. So what I want to tell you is just to keep hustling, keep going. But that does conclude the episode for today. Just to give you a look at both sides of the coin here. It's not always as sweet as we think. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. But I will be back in the next episode, and I'll talk to you guys again on how to become a successful natural bodybuilder, right? So I'm doing this in episodes. I want to tell you a lot, right? So this episode was just try to give you both sides of the game, and give me a second, I'll tell you what the next episode is. In the next episode, I'm going to go into men's physique. I want to go talk about the actual men's physique division. Tell you what the judges are looking for, yeah, tell you what the judges are looking for, and then I'll be talking about like balance, proportion, all those things. So come back for the next episode if you're gonna be a men's physique competitor. If not, hey, let me know what you guys want to see from me next. But yeah, that's what I'll be talking about in the next video. Appreciate you guys watching the video to the end, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, great, thanks, peace.